for fueling a teen mental health crisis? That's the central question in the unprecedented big tech trial underway in California. The plaintiff, a now 20-year-old woman, identified by the initials KGM, claims her early use of social media addicted her to the technology and exacerbated her depression and suicidal thoughts. Allegations that Meta says it strongly disagrees with. Today, we heard from Mark Zuckerberg himself on the stand. Now, it's the first time he's faced a jury on the issue, but it's not the first time he's faced bereaved parents. Back in 2024, he appeared before Congress and issued his own apology.
I'm sorry for everything that you've all been through. It's terrible. No one should have to go through the things that your families have suffered. And this is why we invested so much and are going to continue doing industry-leading efforts to make sure that no one has to go through the types of things that your families have had to suffer.
Today, the plaintiff's attorney pressed Zuckerberg on the age requirements for Meta platforms, saying the plaintiff was 9 years old when she signed up for Instagram. Zuckerberg replied that 13 was always the age required in the terms when signing up, to which the attorney replied, "You expect a 9-year-old to read the terms and conditions?" Another key moment when the attorney referenced an email from 2016 in which Zuckerberg identified a goal of increasing time spent on his platforms by 12%. Now, Zuckerberg responded that priorities have changed and that time spent on a platform was a reflection of how valuable it was. Meta says evidence will show the company has a long-standing commitment to supporting young people. In opening statements last week, Meta's attorney pointed to other factors at play in the plaintiff's mental health struggles, summarized in part saying, the company is not disputing that KGM experienced mental health struggles, but rather that Instagram played a substantial factor in those struggles. He pointed to medical records that showed a turbulent home life, and both he and an attorney representing YouTube argue she turned to their platforms as a coping mechanism or as a means of escaping her mental health struggles. But unearthed internal messages from researchers at Meta tell a different story, that there was concern. Here's an excerpt of some of the emails inside of Meta, with employees saying things like, "Oh my gosh, y'all, IG is a drug. LOL, I mean all social media. We're basically pushers. Seriously, it is. We are causing reward deficit disorder because people are binging on IG so much they can't feel reward anymore, like their reward tolerance is so high." I would imagine everyone watching understands. We all scroll in 7-second increments. Here's mine. From Maps to Robert Duvall clips to Douglas Murray. It's a vulnerable moment for me, sharing that with you, showing you my Instagram. But it's how we all live now, and there's a lot at stake for these tech companies. There's 1,600 other social media addiction cases pending, consolidated from parents and school districts. Now, my next guest was one of the parents that Zuckerberg apologized to back in 2024. She lost her 16-year-old son, David, to suicide in 2016 after what the family said was months of harassment on social media. Maureen Molak joins me now. Maureen, thanks for being with us here today. Although I'm sure you've heard it many times over the past 10 years, I'll be remiss if I didn't start with, I'm so sorry. I have teenage boys. I can't imagine your pain. I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Will. It's great to be here.
Maureen, with what you've been through, what your family's been through, and what your son went through before he took his own life, do you blame social media?
I absolutely do. You know, David grew up in a conservative Christian home. We went to church on Sunday. He was an Eagle Scout and a great basketball player. And it wasn't until he had a serious basketball injury that he turned to social media and online gaming to fill that social void. And over a period of time, we started to see a real change in his behavior. He was showing all of the signs of an addiction. And even after he was medically cleared to go back and play basketball, he no longer had the desire to. He preferred to sit behind a screen. And that's when we knew we were up against something that we had never dealt with my older two boys.
Let me just ask you, because I can only imagine everybody is wondering, certainly I am, again, with two teenage boys, what were those signs that you saw that resembled or reflected addiction in his use of social media?
Well, when we knew it was really serious was when David started lying about completing his homework. He was sneaking around using his devices when they were supposed to be locked up down in the kitchen. He would get angry and aggressive when we would try to get him to stop using the devices. And then there towards the end, he started stealing from us in order to purchase virtual assets to increase his player power through some of these gaming platforms. It was nothing more than just a nightmare in our home.
Wow, I'm sorry. That is, again, I'm so sorry. That is terrible. Here we have these cases today now where people are beginning to sue Meta, Google, YouTube, Instagram, their platforms. And there's an argument that's to be had in the law of what percentage of someone's troubles and someone's actions is attributable to social media. In the case that we just heard about, there is an argument made from those social media platforms that there were pre-existing mental health issues. I know in your son's case, he was dealing with some bullying online. And then there is the culpability, perhaps, in whatever percentage of the addictive nature of social media. I would imagine at some point, Maureen, a jury is going to be asked to give percentages of blame to those various contributing factors. I'm curious, as I go back to the beginning now with you, you dealt with all of those factors. What percentage do you give to the addictive nature of social media?
Well, first of all, let me just clarify that David's cyberbullying didn't start until after he was already addicted to social media. What we know is that kids who are addicted have a much larger chance of experiencing additional online harms. I've been working with many parents over the last several years, and all of our stories are the same. That all gets rooted back to the addictive nature of these platforms and their model, which is engagement. And we know that they're doing this, and the evidence is going to come out. I believe we're going to see a lot more evidence this week that's going to show their internal documents. You just showed some of them earlier, but we're going to see more that's going to prove not only internal communications through email, but also their own research that showed that these platforms were dangerous, and they didn't do enough to stop it.
And so, Maureen, just to follow up, were you sitting on that jury? And you're not, and I'm not, and we're not hearing all the evidence that's presented in court. But as an attorney, I do know that that will ultimately be the question that's presented to a jury. How much do you assign blame to these various factors? If you were sitting on that jury, do I hear you saying 100%?
I absolutely do. I absolutely believe that these platforms are responsible for the mental health issues that our young people are facing right now.
All right. And we're sorry again for how it's affected you and your son and your family. Maureen, thanks for sharing that story with us here today.
Thank you, Will.
Okay.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.